Breeze Way here at City Hall. Hopefully we won't rename it Windy Way. But this is a very important day in the city. For today, my colleagues and I on the City Council will be voting on an official declaration that Sacramento has a homeless shelter crisis, meaning, of course, that we don't have enough shelter beds to house all the people sleeping outdoors on any given night. And of course, in one sense, we don't have to make such a declaration because this is what we have known for a long time. And it hasn't taken a declaration for us to get to work as we have aggressively over the last several years to not only increase our shelter capacity, but to address every element of what it is going to take to actually get people off the streets over the long term and permanently. We know that even prior to my becoming mayor of this city, that when you looked at the point in time count, January 2015 to January 2017, that homelessness increased 85%. And the problem, of course, is not unique to our city. The numbers are even worse in other cities in California. We have not yet crossed that tipping point, in my view, where the problem is so bad that we can't actually make it demonstrably better. And so over the last 2 years, we have applied for and received the Whole Person Care Grant. We've worked collaboratively with our county partners. We have opened a triage shelter off of Railroad Avenue, thank you, Councilmember Harris, to actually get hundreds and hundreds of people off the streets. Here is our challenge and our opportunity. We must translate the hundreds we have gotten off the street into thousands. And with the help of the state of California, we have a better chance to achieve that goal and to actually do it. So why are we now declaring a shelter crisis that everyone knows has existed already for a long time? Because the state of California said if you make it official, they will grant us, in collaboration with the county and Sacramento Steps Forward, welcome and more, about $20 million in new state funding that was part of the last state budget. Proud to say that our city, through the Big 11 mayors, led this effort to get $500 million worth of funding, and Sacramento County will draw down about $20 million. Of that amount, $7 million will go directly to the city to continue with our triage effort. But our collaborative effort will do much more than that. It will actually enable us to transition so many people who are either living in shelter, living in fragile temporary housing, who are on the street, to actually pay for the voucher to get people into more permanent housing. There are other ways we're going to spend this money, but I'm going to leave some of those good punchlines to some of my colleagues who will speak after me. Much more help is on the way. On Tuesday, California voters approved Prop 1, which authorized $4 billion in state spending on affordable housing projects. And then I'm very happy, we won 2 initiatives on Tuesday, not only Measure U, we won Prop 2. I was proud to sponsor that measure, which allocates $2 billion of the money raised by Prop 63, the Mental Health Services Act, to establish a housing bond for those with serious mental illness who are out on our streets. $2 billion. And our city and our county is going to get a lot of that money. But before I turn it over to my colleagues, I want to address one issue which I know my colleagues will amplify as well. There's a lot of questions about the city's camping ordinance. And the question is, when we declare an emergency, will it go away? And the answer is no, it will not go away. Number one, it's an important tool. While it is an important tool, it was only used, for example, 11 times in the month of August. We have other tools as well. The cleanup, if you will, to try to make the River District, Ahern, Boulevard, Butch cleaner and safer and healthier a month or so ago. That cleanup was done without using the camping ordinance one time. Didn't have to use the camping ordinance in order to enforce the laws that say you can't obstruct sidewalks and you can't engage in behavior that is threatening or injurious to others. And third, the key point is the camping ordinance can still be used, and we have our city attorney here to answer any questions, but the resolution we passed tonight will make it very clear that the camping ordinance can in fact be used if, and this sometimes logic is the only thing that matters, if we have an available shelter bed for somebody that we can offer not only on one night, but on an ongoing basis. And if we can demonstrate that we have transportation for that person, only if we offer and offer consistently and the individual refuses, could we invoke the ordinance, which isn't invoked very often anyway. So I wanted to clear that up because I know that's the elephant, if you will, in the room as we pass this resolution tonight and draw down between 18 and $20 million. Homelessness need not be hopelessness in Sacramento and in California. And we're gathering the resources and the strategies to make a big, big difference. Let me now turn it over to the Vice Mayor, Councilmember Steve Hansen.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, everyone. I would just like to start by thanking our Mayor for his work with the Big 11 in getting this money for the city, for the county, and for Sacramento Steps Forward. It really is true that many hands make light work, and while you may only think the Mayor has two, he's able to deliver money and programs and people on so many fronts. He has truly shifted the conversation on this, so thank you, Mayor. To that end, though, for many years we've worked collaboratively with partners, but we've always lacked the resources. The ability to declare this shelter crisis gives us much needed resources to help people now, to shelter them, to provide services, to provide medical care, and all the things that the Mayor described from the triage shelter and on are part of a bigger picture of moving this needle. Our constituents, particularly mine, the topic they most call about is homelessness. The impacts, the wanting to help, what can they do? We get stopped on the street corner because people want to do something, they want to help. They just don't want it to go away as if we swept it under the rug. They really want those stories about how people can change their lives for the better. One of the things I'm most impressed about is that our team, and through the great work of Emily Halkin, who is our homeless services manager, but really she is a revolution in the way we've approached this. She has worked creatively with this program to bring forward something that we've seen work, which is empowering people. And I know my colleague Jay Chenier is going to introduce the Downtown Streets team, but I just have to say, having witnessed their meetings and their engagement, you've seen people gain dignity, work to help clean up the community, and want to change their lives because they've been believed in, and they suddenly feel respected, and then they're able to change for the better. I think that opportunity to put homeless people to work is the epitome of what we're trying to do here to change lives. I would also say that we anticipate that there may be additional need to help with illegal dumping, with cleanup, and our city staff are working diligently to increase our level of service, to make sure that our neighborhoods in particular have what they need as we go through improving this situation. So with that, I'd just like to again thank the Mayor, our team, Sacramento Steps Forward as well for being the backbone of this system and for really helping to revolutionize how our region handles homelessness. With that, I'll turn it over to my dear friend and colleague, Eric Hero.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. As the Mayor has said, that there is an imperative action we need to do today. And if this resolution that clearly states something we've seen today says as clearly as that we're going to write a resolution that the sky is blue, but we know it, we're going to do it anyways. And today, as we feel this this morning chill, this breeze coming through, it's an even stronger imperative that we take action quickly as our winter comes along. And what started off as just a winter triage shelter has led to a much bigger focus on a revolution on how we address the issue for our city that the rest of the state of California is starting to look at too. Sacramento, as part of the League of Cities, was involved with the counties, the CSAC, to look at options throughout the state. And I'm proud to be from Sacramento, where we have been on the forefront of what other cities are trying to tackle too. Specifically, how our police department and our Sacramento Impact team coordinate and work with our homeless folks in our homeless shelters. We have a very sophisticated network of partners that we're working, like our streets team, but all of the different partners throughout the city, not just the triage shelter, which has shown examples that we can help people off the street and into a place of help. Everyone from our police department, our fire department that is driving down right now has been involved in working directly with our homeless community. Our impact team is going to go out there and not just respond to the calls and concerns that Councilmember Hansen brought about with folks who are homeless in our community. Our impact team is going to go and meet and help our homeless individuals actually get some help, get some service. And that's what we need our public servants doing, is helping them find and secure housing, helping them get a place of shelter and bed. And to the point that the mayor said again, our camping ordinance will stay in place, but the bigger point is we're going to help people find a place to stay. We cannot do that effectively if we don't declare pass this resolution tonight. We can't do it effectively if we don't declare the shelter crisis and apply for the money that the state of California has put before for cities. I want to thank our mayor for leading a coalition of 11 mayors throughout the state to get such a huge investment for cities to help address this issue. It would be irresponsible for the city of Sacramento to leave money on the table when the winter is coming and we need to help people get off the street. We need to work here together today, and I'm proud to be part of this approach. I want to turn it back over here to our next council member who has been active on this issue here, and to introduce our next steps, Councilmember Jay Chenier.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we continue to understand that homelessness is the largest threat that we have to the sustainability of the work for individuals. One of those key factors is job skills, workforce development, so that they can become self-sufficient over time. We talked as a council for years about creating a program that would be a day work program so that we could put people to work. And as Councilmember Vice Mayor Hansen said, give them self-dignity. We have contracted over the last year or so with Downtown Streets, who started out in San Jose, but are really expanding as an exponentially because of the good work that they do. I want to talk very briefly about a triple bottom line that we have. For individuals participating in the program, it's about job skills, it's about resources, and again, it's about that pride and self-dignity so that they can go into the workforce and become successful on their own. For the areas in which they work, it's cleanup, and that's going to help us and continue to help us. It's done a lot of work around the shelter in the north area, and I think the expansion that we're talking about will help a number of areas, and Rachel is going to talk a little bit about that. And then the third piece also is for our community. As they look upon individuals who are experiencing homelessness and see them working and trying to make a life for themselves and a successful life for themselves, that moves them forward. And it really does help people contribute to this issue that we have that is so important for our city. So we have a triple bottom line here at a program that is not overly expensive, but a program that helps the city on so many fronts. So what I want to do is actually bring up Rachel Davidson. Come on up here, please. And I think she deserves a hand because she has been doing yeoman's work here. And what I want to ask her to talk briefly about is where we've been, what we've accomplished so far with this program, and then an expansion, what that might look like. And these are funds that will come out of the state dollars that we'll be able to get because we're doing this, declaring this shelter crisis. Rachel.
Thank you so much. Thank you. As Councilmember Chenier mentioned, we moved up here to Sacramento to launch in January 24th of this year, working around the winter triage shelter in the North Sacramento area. We work with a team of 25 individuals who are volunteering their time doing community beautification projects in the area. Since January, we've been able to engage those 25 individuals, our team members, who are currently experiencing homelessness, in employment opportunities to move into permanent housing. And during that time, they've been able to collect over 150,000 gallons of debris from the North Sacramento area and over 1,500 needles. As we look to the future, we're looking towards expansion into the downtown area and the River District, areas that have been in desperate need of assistance. We're looking forward to not only being able to engage individuals living unsheltered on the riverbanks, on the street sides, folks who are guests of shelters such as the Winter Triage Shelter, in peer-to-peer outreach, so building trusting relationships with them through consistent interaction. We're also looking forward to our numbers in terms of debris, to those numbers multiplying exponentially as we're able to make contact in the River District and in the downtown areas. And I just want to take a moment to thank the city and the mayor and vice mayor for their incredible support. We are truly honored and humbled to be part of the city's dedication to innovative solutions to homelessness. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rachel. Go ahead.
This is a true collaboration. I want to do a quick shout out to Regional Transit, which has been providing transit passes for all of the folks working in Rachel's program at no cost. We know they need to be able to get to their jobs, and this has been life-saving for them as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Jay. I'm going to ask Jeff Harris, who's been a champion on these sets of issues for his entire tenure, to come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor. As my colleagues have mentioned, we've put in place programs that are actually affecting the conundrum of homelessness in a very positive way. We're trying to build it out into more regional collaboration, and so in that regard, Regional SAM has stepped up with their Confluence program and helped in a way to fund the downtown streets teams. What we found with our Railroad Drive triage shelter is that we can change the lives of individuals who we've labeled as service resistant, people who generally would reject help. And because of their situation, of their lifestyle, living on the parkway, dealing with homelessness and its dangers over many years, have become kind of hardened individuals. What we found is that when they are stabilized, when they're warm and they're fed and they're safe, they start to envision a different future for themselves. We've got a program that works. What we need is more capacity. This shelter declaration could help us move along in that regard, and so hopefully we can do that. It's really a matter of creating more capacity to help more people. As the mayor has mentioned, we want to turn hundreds into thousands, and we won't stop until we get this done. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Would you guys add anything? Okay, well, we'd be happy to stand for any questions. And again, we'll have a full public hearing beginning at 5 o'clock this afternoon to discuss all these issues, and I hope take that positive step towards drawing down almost $20 million for our city and our county to combat this problem. Questions? All right. We'd be glad to stand for any individual interviews. Thank you all so much for coming out today. Really appreciate it.